First thing here before we get to our interview, though, I did want to make this note because the SEC has made this ruling. Before we jump to our interview here with Tony, do want to make this note because the SEC has finalized their COVID policy for this season. I know nobody wants to hear this stuff, and neither do I. I was hoping we had moved beyond all this, but the SEC has made a determination here. It's game week. They had to come out and say something. If a team cannot play an SEC game, let's just throw out an example. If Tennessee cannot play Alabama because Tennessee's having COVID issues, Tennessee forfeits the game. There will be no makeups this year. It'll be an L for Tennessee in the loss column in the standings, and it'll be a win for Alabama. That's how they're handling it. There's no makeups. I'll say that again. No makeups this year in the SEC for conference games. They don't have any desire to blow up the schedule week in and week out like we did last season. Now, what happens if both teams cannot play? Here's where it gets tricky. If both teams cannot play, they each get a loss in the column. So, man, let's certainly hope none of this comes to part and we don't even have to worry about it. But, that's a big stressing point why a lot of these programs want to have their players vaccinated and their staff vaccinated so they don't have to deal with this stuff. And the most common response I saw when I put this news out there, we finally have a chance to beat Alabama. I've seen about 7 different fan bases saying, well, pump the brakes on that one because as I understand it, Alabama's only got one player. They haven't said who, but I believe they've only got one player that has yet to be vaccinated. So, it's interesting. Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Arkansas, I believe those are the 4 leaders in the SEC that have, and Ole Miss, of course. Lane Kiffin has made very public they've got 100% vaccination. But it's these teams at the top that they do not want to suffer any losses because of COVID. So I think that's why those numbers you keep hearing about vaccination rates and where those teams are at. So just something to keep in the back of your mind. Again, no makeup dates, and this is only for conference games. I think if you lose a non-conference game due to COVID, it's just they're probably not going to work to make that up either. I don't know, but that's not something the SEC can determine. So that is the official statement from the SEC, and let's hope it's the last damn time we ever have to talk about COVID and scheduling and all that for the rest of the football season.